Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Decided to jump back in here. You know what? Hang on. I'm gonna just leave this on long enough to see if we can moderate the music here real quick. All right, there we go. All right, and now I'm gonna ditch the headphones. So hopefully everything is coming through. So it looks like everything is good. Um, yeah, it's been a minute. I don't know if this is gonna make it to the channel or not. It may not. Don't know. But hope everybody's good. I've been all right. Things have been better. I'm not gonna bitch and complain about anything really. So, yeah, I miss you guys. I haven't, like I said, I uploaded a couple of videos from earlier this month. Yesterday, I've been straight MIA, and then I would say for decent and for good reason, and then also for not so good reasons. I did want to come on real quick because I got something today in the mail, and this, well, this I thought coolest thing that's ever happened. That's a thank you from Top One Futures. The really cool thing, I was looking at it, and even if it is like they basically went and utilized like a note and everything, a note service to actually write the note out, or whatever it is, and it's not actually handwritten. That's cool with that. Coolest thing I've gotten in years of trading. So big shout out to Top One. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Made me feel special. Made me feel special. So, in feeling special, kind of just taking the rest of this week off. Everything else is going to be in PA. I'm in a PA right now, doing what I typically do in the PAs, which again, psychology-wise, just need to just fully port over to real accounts. I'm not going to say anything about the reports or reporting or the manipulation, as it were, this morning. I'll just simply say that there was really good price action today. Some people would say that it was probably a little shoddy or a little crappy at certain times. Overall, I will say from today being Wednesday, Monday there was decent price action. Yesterday there was decent price action. Today, absolutely decent price action. The reason I keep saying decent is because there have just been some like really at least for me, I would say some really obvious things, or I'm not going to say obvious movement, but there's been some reporting over the past month or two that would have been indicative of certain things happening just based on whatever those pricing scenarios and situations were, right? And that type of thing is not coming out to bear, which leads me to confirm, and it's not even a belief anymore, it's a confirmation, it's a technical confirmation that there may be actually some data that's being left out in terms of how certain economic factors and some of the sentiment, if you will, is being injected and being priced in. Okay, which is the only way that I could really say it, and I'll say it that way. So having gone through that little bit of a narrative, I'm out for the rest of the week. We're about halfway through that 100K combine, so we're up about 3,100 in that, and I'm locked out. I'm not touching that for the rest of this week. I'll go in maybe next week, and then next week is going to be like extremely tight, and that kind of brings me into one of the reasons I wanted to do this video, and kind of jump on with you guys and talk to you a little bit. There are always those people that come into the space. They come on to YouTube or whatever it is, and they're trying to be an educator, whatever. I've said from the very start, this is not like, that's not my calling. That's not why I'm on here. The only reason that I'm on here is to do what I've been doing, honestly, over the last few weeks where I haven't been live streaming, not been really doing videos that I'll publish, but I've just kind of just been journaling, trying to get my shit together for the most part, in terms of, you know, what I'm looking for, where I'm looking for it, so on and so forth, and then just kind of get dialed in that way, because I moved away from the premise of just documenting and being here and bringing, I guess you could say, a community or like-minded individuals along for the ride. Again, that being the scenario and the situation, like, I'm not really going to be able to get back to live streaming the way that I would like to. I'm going to back that up with the reasonings behind why. And it's just like, that's why I said, like, there's a lot that's been going on. I'd started out basically trading Globex. On certain days I was able to trade the New York Open. I've come to find, even after, you know, with I'll say it this way, having done this back and forth overall for about 6 years now, but really understanding like what I need to be focused on. Like, the more that, you know, when I stepped away, and it seems like I stepped away, although that wasn't my intention, I kind of did it from the live streams, and I really started looking at my trades, and I was like, why, you know, like, why am I losing these positions? Some of it was just ignorance, like not knowing what I was looking at, thinking I knew what I was looking at, wasn't looking at the right thing. The other part of it was doing what should be done and what I should have been doing, which is, you know, engage in the community. People coming into the chat, they're talking, they're asking, I'm engaging, we're talking speculation, talking trading. You know, I'm looking at the chart, telling you what I see, but my attention getting split and divided. So that's the quick backdrop. Then, you know, kind of go back into, okay, well, what did you find? What kind of piece did you find? You know, in the temple or whatnot, right? So I know there's somebody out there that's like, oh, you stepped away to find yourself. What did you find? Well, one of the things is that time and price. To put it very simply, and then to kind of go back and then, you know, going back through my journals, my digital journals, my handwritten journals, reading back through some of the entries, looking at some of the diagrams, looking at some of the things that I plotted in my digital, like in my Discord, which I use as my electronic online journal, and then just going back and looking at the screenshots that I posted, looking at the narratives that I actually wrote behind those screenshots, and then looking at, you know, certain things, which brings me to why you see all these, you know, lines on my chart. They're not arbitrary random lines. I literally just put a Fibonacci back up. Why? And it's not a standard fib. I have specific levels and specific things that I'm looking for. Here's the funny thing about that. I started doing that maybe just as I was transitioning into futures from currency. And they were, you know, I will call them custom levels, or there's specific levels that I was using. And the crazy thing is, I was having success with them in currencies, primarily because it was a measure where I could look at where price was at a given time at a specific level, right? And I said, so when I stepped away from doing these lives because of work and everything else, I get back later in the day or later in the morning in the AM session, and I'm like, I've probably missed the quality move, and we're going into the lunch hour, and just like, no, that's not smart to do. I just randomly started putting that fib back on as I'm trying to make sure and dial back in what I'm doing. And lo and behold, okay, certain things started lining up, and I said, okay, might be a one-off, because it's kind of like, it's not a jumping strategy thing. It's a find yourself in what you're doing and apply something that's known to you, that you know. Hence the 9 million lines on, you know, what would look like, you know, 8 million lines or whatever. However, they're very specific, and identifying those levels in conjunction with sessions, in conjunction with previous day highs and lows, session highs and lows, able to kind of ratchet some things back in. So I say all of that just to simply say, you know, I'm not in a place where I'm probably going to be live Globex unless we're just sitting around shooting shit, chatting, which is fine with me. But there may be an opportunity, there may not. Now you can say, well, Jeremy, if you're saying that, it looks like you're sitting in a PA position right now. obviously I'm doing a very, no thing. Like there's no stop here, right? Because I was doing this early as a when I got into this position, I was like, well, let's just see, right? And I just didn't drag a stop up. I dragged the target, but I just didn't drag a stop. So I'm gonna say right now, before anybody's like, you don't have, I know. It should be, I know, all right? But it was, again, just me dialing back in and testing out, hey, what is it? And if you really want me to, I will do it now. So, again, sorry, not the smart thing to do, not the right thing to do, but we'd be right there. So now you can get off my case about that. So it's just come to, okay, if I get back to lives, like what's going to be the time frame? Can I do it when I get back to the house after work? Well, yes, and then that's going to change. Next week, Tuesday, I'm going to say Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm not going to get a whiff of pre-New York, post-New York Open, lunch hour, PM set. I'm not going to get a whiff of any of that because I'm going to be working some ridiculous fucking hours next week. And I'm trying to limit it to just those 3 days. But all in all, beyond that, like there have been a couple things going on outside of work that I've essentially just had to kind of take a half step back from my trading and make sure that I take care of like the adult things. And while this I would consider an adult thing, there's some other things that kind of just take a little bit of priority over my trading, which, understandable, right? In the whole concept of adulting. So yeah, it's not, I don't have to come on here and explain why I'm not making videos. I look at some of the people that I know when, everybody was forex, foreign exchange, and 7 trillion and get your P. Like, I remember all of those people that would be making videos days. They make before shorts became a thing, but they make, these snapshot videos, and they have videos like 2-3 times a day, and you'd see them all throughout the week. And then one day you don't see them anymore, and then it's a week, and it's a month. And you're like, what the hell happened? And they're gone. And then they reappear like 2 years ago, like, oh yeah, I've been winning this whole time. And it's like, I don't know. I think you're capping. I think you are capping, my friend. So, there's a part of me that's just like, well, I don't want them to think that, I was like the .com and I'm busted and I'm gone. I'm not. It's just I got shit. Just got shit going on. I got a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening, but I'm doing okay. Family's okay. Just trying to figure out when I can get back. But I just want to let you guys know, yeah, everything is good. I'm still in the game, still trading. Obviously, I'm now with Topstep and also now with Top One Futures, who I don't know. Maybe one of the things I could do is just try to maybe get back into the weekly recaps. See what we're looking at and looking for. Speaking of recaps, we do have unemployment and initial claims tomorrow. Presently, price is above what's going to be viewed, and it is at this point. Previous day high from earlier today. That level, where are we at? That's going to be this blue horizontal right here, marked out, and then you see PDH down here. So we're actually above. We're operating above that right now. So my thought process, just in terms of delivery, is to see if we can flush through this level here, this price level, and ultimately get a close back inside. That may very well kind of indicate or dictate what tomorrow may hold. The more comfortable that I'm able to maybe get in terms of getting back to live streaming, maybe I can share some of this, because at this point it's when I say it's personal, it's just me. I'm saying, like, again, they're custom levels, so it's nothing that I can really share with anybody and say, hey, you're gonna, this might work for you or not. I just know it's working for me. All right, like that's all I can tell you is that it works for me. It is some level of mechanical, but the only thing that you have to take into account is regular trade hours, and if you're doing anything electronic trade or anything overnight, then that's when sessions and session ranges are like extremely important. And again, it's tailored around very specific times and nothing outside of that. So and technically I'm inside of one of those trade windows right now, so I will just tip you this way and say that for the Globex Open, typically I'd always looked at it from 6 to 7. Like I said, when I went back through and I was going back through my stuff, I noticed that I actually had Globex like almost 2 years ago. I had that time frame from 6 p.m. to 7:30, and I had it annotated in my notes. Unless there is specific carryover, like my exact verbiage was, unless there is specific carryover from price action from the PM session from the day before, right, previous day, there is nothing to do between 6 and 7:30. If there is carryover of some price delivery, you can trade understanding what the expectation is between 6 and 7:30. Other than that, like, don't do it. This is from almost, like I said, like 2 years ago. I wrote this in a notebook. Out the window. So, shiny item syndrome, I will chalk that up to. But that's the only reason that I'm actually in this. Like I said, I've been kind of following those bullet points from so long ago. And as I said, finding some consistent success with that. So, just to backtrack a little bit, yeah, the more I can get back into live streaming and looking at positions, looking at price, you'll kind of see from the beginning or what my thought process is, you know, how I base and what I use to kind of anchor my levels, if you will, to determine what I think is going to happen. Now, this is by no stretch of the imagination my way of saying I know what the price action or what the price delivery is going to be tomorrow. Absolutely not, you know. However, I will say that there are certain things just based on, and this would apply for anybody that is just a price action person that understands the technical aspects of the delivery there and liquidity. They're probably going to come up with a much more concise, you know, idea or bias based upon what they think the expected delivery is. But I'm just going to throw this out right now, since I probably will upload this video. I'm anticipating shorts, even though we've broken out a previous day high. Technically right now, as of like right now, Wednesday is the high and the low of the week, right? So we've already taken out of Tuesday and Monday low, and we basically closed all the way back through that. So we closed above both of those levels. So technically, you know, if you wanted to call Wednesday a doji day, you could, but it's a doji that is encompassing both the high and the low of the week right now. So theoretically, Thursday and Friday, we could literally end up with a mixed week and not have a Wednesday high of the week, so on and so forth. We could, however, quite possibly, wouldn't be beyond the pale, but it's a stretch. I would anticipate shorts for tomorrow, especially with the news incoming. Maybe we get a Thursday low of the week and a Friday close back inside. Possibly. I don't know. But, yeah. As most of my predictions and my biases in most of my videos. Jeremy, what are you this week? Short! So, I don't know. That'll do it again. I appreciate you guys that have rocked with me. Those that have, real quick, for those that unsubscribed, I totally understand. No hard feelings. I get it. Not on, not available. Not open and available to you. So I get it. I will get back. I'll do better, and hopefully, you know, you decide when you see the videos coming back in, you decide to, you know, give me another opportunity to earn your trust, earn your subscription, and earn your time. So I know that's something that's always important to me. So I respect it. You know, obviously, like I said, no hard feelings. I'm not around. I'm not available. You're gonna go find somebody else. It makes total sense. So yeah. Again, that being the case, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Be safe. stay safe in these markets, especially tomorrow and Friday. Friday's an NFP day, so be careful and be safe. And yeah, maybe I'll see you this weekend. All right, so take care. Thanks.